What's up guys, this is Sena from Senjops and Ice Cream. 皆さんこんにちは。Sena です。Recently, I had a few comments asking me why I decided to study abroad and why I chose to go to New Zealand. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I decided to study abroad in New Zealand. I started learning English when I was a first year junior high school student in Japan. Before I got into junior high school, I remember my mum and my school principal were talking on the phone and he asked her, "Is there any concern about your son's study with us?" And she said, I think English can be challenging because he's never done it before, which is very understandable. So just like that, I started learning English, but I was studying for the exams that I had to do. And it was nothing more than that until I became a second year junior high school student. For my second year, a new English teacher came to our school, and he was previously working for Suntory as a salesperson. Although he was good at what he did at Suntory, he wanted to teach English so bad that he quit his job and decided to become an English teacher. What is even more inspiring is that he had his wife and a baby when he decided to change his entire career. I don't think I could do the same if I were him. Maybe you might be able to tell by how I talk about him, but he is the one who inspired me to learn English way harder than before. He wasn't just an English teacher, but he was a role model for me to become like in the future. He didn't teach me English for paper tests. He taught me why communicating with people was fun and how English would help me connect with people outside Japan. I think I was inspired even more because he knew how important it was to be able to use practical English because he used to work for Suntory. In other words, he could teach me so many different perspectives because he has so much experience in life apart from being an English teacher for his career. Thanks to him, I fell in love with learning English. Unfortunately, we had ESOL classes where we could learn English from native English teachers a few times every week. One day, our ESOL teacher, Sammy, asked us, "What did you do last weekend?" And everyone suddenly became quiet. I wanted to tell him that I'd gone fishing with my dad in the weekend, but I was freaking nervous. I decided to raise my hand anyway and I went for it. Everyone was staring at me and looking curious about what I was about to say. And I said, "I went to fishing with my father," which was grammatically incorrect, but that was the best that I could do. Sammy smiled at me and he was like, "Great, did you enjoy it?" And I was like, "Yes." I don't remember what happened from there, but I still remember that my heartbeat was so fast that I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. My mum knew that I loved English. One day she came back with a magazine about studying abroad and she said, "Sena, look, I didn't know you could do a short-term study abroad in another country from 2 weeks up to 3 months. And I said, "That sounds cool." Then my mum turned a page and talked to herself. "Oh, there's a long-term study abroad option during the high school time. That's a huge commitment." And I had to stop her there. I was like, "What did you just say? I could do a long-term study abroad? I would love to try it." I barely remember what happened from there, but I remember my mom's face was pale, and that was when she realized that she'd said something she shouldn't have. There were mainly two reasons that I wanted to study abroad at the time. One, I wanted to learn English and I wanted to be able to speak English fluently. Two, I wanted to learn something useful that I could use for the rest of my life and I chose English. Everyone, including my family, my school, and my friends were against my idea. Ironically, my English teacher was against this as well. First of all, I needed to have a family meeting. I sat down with my mom and dad and they said, "It's too early for you to go. Why don't you want to wait until you go to university in Japan? You could do a short-term study abroad, but the long-term one would be too much for you." But I was a stubborn kid, so all I could see was myself going to study abroad and I neglected any other option. Which I look back at it and I think I had such a narrow perspective, but I believe that going to study abroad was one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. My dad designs and makes traditional Japanese cakes and my mom is a housewife. So I asked him a question. Do you remember the things that you learned from schooling? And do you use anything that you learned from junior high or high school for your work or for your living? For me, I know that I will be able to use English for the rest of my life. I would love to learn this and use this skill for my work one day. It excites me to think that if I learned English, I would be able to communicate with people that don't speak English and learn about the world. If I can study abroad during my high school time, then please let me do it. I also had to have a meeting with my school principal and my English teacher, but I told them about the same thing. My principal kindly offered me an opportunity to come back after a year of studying abroad, but I rejected the offer and I told him I would love to withdraw from this school. I don't know what the hell I was thinking and I don't know how I was so confident. 若気の至りですよ。Being young is amazing. Of course, I wanted to go to a country like the US, the UK, Australia, and Canada, but they were so expensive to go to at the time. And I learned that New Zealand was the cheapest and one of the most peaceful countries, so I decided to go there. From there, I went to a local high school and went to university here as well. Then I've been working as a salesperson for over 2 years in New Zealand. I had a lot of support from the people around me, especially my family, and I always thank them for what they've done for me. A few years ago, I also caught up with my English teacher, and he said that he was surprised and worried about my decision at the time, but now thinks that I made the best decision for myself. I guess all's well that ends well. 終わり良ければ全てよし。Well, my life has just started, so I'm really excited for what's coming in the future. That's the end of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comment section box below. So I'll see you guys later. Bye! さよなら!